I flew out to America for the first ever time to test and experience some of the coolest and craziest technology in the world, and in this video I'm going to share with you everything you need to know about it, what is worth buying, and things you should be excited for. If you didn't know, Las Vegas is the home of the CES show, the largest technology event in the world. I attended it for the first ever time and it was an insane trip. First, let's start off with the world's largest TV. This right here is the TCL 115QM, and it's currently one of the biggest mini LED TVs in the world right now. The size of this model was 115 inches, which is kind of massive, but the show floor, it looked regular. Because of how large the convention room is, they had this mega television there, and I thought, is that one that was in that Linus Tech Tips video? I was like, that's not that big. And then I realized what TV it was, and obviously the space we're in, and I was like, okay, obviously if this was in a house, it would be off scale how large it was. But because of the show floor, it just felt like a 65-inch TV. So I don't feel like I truly got to appreciate the grand scale of what this display actually had to offer. Spec-wise, this is a high-performing TV. It does support HDMI 2.1, 120Hz, but it is only a 4K display. You would hope that with it being so big, it would maybe be an 8K screen. I didn't notice any issues with the sharpness. I thought it looked pretty good. Yeah, I didn't think, oh, that looks rubbish, because obviously it's quite a large display, so obviously the pixels per inch is a lot different to a smaller display that might be 4K, but it looked absolutely stunning. And also the brightness of the panel was fantastic because it was 5,000 nits, which is very bright, which will give it great performance in quite a light environment with a lot of sun coming through in an apartment or a house, for example. Also, while we were at the TCL booth, we bumped into Linus Tech Tips, which I'm not gonna lie, this was kind of crazy. I've been watching Linus Tech Tips since I was like 12 years old, for like over 10 years. He taught me how to build gaming PCs. I learned all about PC components from him, and for him to just be wandering around the booth filming while we were filming, I was like, this is surreal. I grabbed a picture with him and he was super cool. He was very busy, but he still stopped and had a little chat with us. Now, meeting Linus Tech Tips was pretty cool, but we did meet some even cooler people later on at this event, so definitely stay tuned for that. Switching our focus over to more affordable but still impressive TVs, Panasonic had a new range of 4K OLEDs available for 2024. This was the new version of the Panasonic TV that I recently featured in my bedroom gaming setup, with some new enhancements to their feature set. This included a much brighter panel, around 1,500 nits was the rumors going around the booth, and also the integration of an Amazon Fire Stick directly inside of the TV's operating system. Now, with the Fire Stick built into Panasonic's new OLED TVs, this will enhance how you discover and enjoy your content, with better integrations for your favorite streaming platforms and also live TV channels, apps, and a tailored recommendation system on the main homepage so you can quickly find different shows and stuff that you might really enjoy watching. I personally thought the Panasonic operating system was pretty good on the version that I currently own, but hopefully this will enhance it to the next level and also improve the range of apps that are available to the users. While I was at the booth, they did take me into this small room where they showed me this 3D audio demo that showcased features available on their two new flagship models, the Z95A and the Z93A. It's the first time we've sat down for like all day.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, you're sat down.
Yeah. I'm on-screen talent, you get the perks. Unbelievable. Okay, and is that in specific telly models or?
Yeah, this is in the flagship. Yeah, flagship.
These have all got faster processors, resulting in better image upscaling, but also fancy speakers at the rear of the TV. And you could manually tune basically your position in the room in accordance to where the telly is displayed, and this would impact basically almost the panning of the audio. Yourself will be in the house, right? Like, this is how you optimize it?
Yeah, or say like if you have it in the living room and somebody's watching TV and somebody's reading. So for instance, it's like directing the sound, for instance.
I had a lot of fun at the Panasonic booth. They even showed me some of the new Lumix camera lenses. I shoot our videos on some Lumix stuff as well as some Sony stuff as well, but we got to play around with some of the new lenses that they currently had. Another brand of TV that I had never heard of before was Conker. They had this mini LED panel that looked absolutely amazing. It had an anti-reflective coating on it, which made a huge difference, definitely for viewing it. These tellies are like 5,000 nits, but conventionally a normal telly is maybe like 500 to 1,000 nits, like a standard panel. So obviously these new mini LED technology is significantly brighter than the OLED, but you're still achieving the same amount of picture quality to an extent of an element of blue in. But what we have seen that's cool is this like matte texture that's occurring on the panels, right? So this, obviously the OLED panels are all dead glossy, so it's super reflective. If it's sunny, you can't see anything at all. We've got all the show lights in this room.
There's no reflection
and
on the screen.
There's not a single
whatsoever.
reflection.
But that picture's so crisp where there's no,
like
no glare.
Because I would buy one. We don't know pricing on these. We've got no internet. It's going to charge us $80 for internet at the convention centre, so we'll check it in a minute. I'd never heard of the brand Conker. I don't think they're available in the UK. If they're available in your country, whether that be USA or whatever, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, while you're commenting, please let me know what your favorite TV brand is. Do you like LG, Samsung, Panasonic, Sony? This would be super helpful for knowing what to feature in the future on the channel, and also for an upcoming video where I break down the best TVs that you can buy in 2024. So make sure you subscribe for that so you don't miss that video when I drop it. Right, so I've been wanting to buy the Bugatti electric scooter, which sounds pretty sad, but it isn't as expensive as it sounds. It's like $1,000 for an electric scooter that does like around 20 miles per hour. Don't know what I'd do with it other than just be like, I've got a Bugatti, mate. But these are actually quite cool. There's now a Red Bull one. Next, we headed over to the MSI booth, which had loads of stuff going on, including an ultra-wide OLED monitor and also the new MSI Claw. Now, the CES show is pretty awesome, but it isn't just set in one location, literally like just in a convention center. It's split across multiple different hotels across the Las Vegas Strip. So we were jumping around between different locations all of the time for different meetings, different booth tours, because I just assumed it would be in one massive room like a convention in the UK, but this was off scale. It was so big. Only 10 minutes late. Stylish. After getting lost multiple times, we did finally find MSI, and I got my hands on the MSI Claw a couple of times while we were there during the event. We visited the MSI booth multiple times to feature different stuff, but also to keep playing on this Claw because it was probably one of the biggest products of the show. Now, the MSI Claw is a direct competitor to the ASUS ROG Ally, and of course the Steam Deck and the one by Lenovo. The big difference here is, though, this is now an Intel chip. I think it's one of the first handhelds to have an Intel chip processor inside of it, and also apparently it has a 35% bigger battery life than the ASUS ROG Ally, which is huge because the biggest weak point of the Steam Deck when I owned and reviewed that was literally 1% of battery life equaled like 1 minute of gaming when I was playing Spider-Man, so you hardly had any active time on the device itself, which kind of defeated the purpose of it being useful for travel because at best you would get about an hour or so of game time. The MSI Claw will be launching at $650. It has a 7-inch 1080p 100Hz display, has VRR support, and also an interesting cooling design, which will hopefully result in a much lower operation sound level where the fans aren't ramping up all the time like on all of its competitors. It has a dual chamber design for the heatsink and a lot of active cooling with loads of fan grills all over the product. I do have a full video where we break down everything you need to know about the MSI Claw, and you can check that out over here if you're interested. Right, so we're about to bounce over to the Sony event now. So the Sony event, I think it'll be better than the Samsung one. Like, Samsung one was good, but it was predominantly about AI and how they're going to be leveraging AI. Whereas this one, I think it'll be predominantly product-based with Sony. Yeah. Next, let's jump over to the Sony and PlayStation booth. This place had probably one of the softest carpets in the world. Seriously, this carpet must have been like £1 million. Like, it was like a mattress. We stepped on it. We're like, why does a convention center have such an insane carpet? Very luxurious, just like the Sony brand is. First thing I instantly spotted was these PS5 Slim console covers. These are exactly the same as the console covers that were announced within the Deep Earth collection for the fat PlayStation 5 towards the end of 2023, but the same colorways are now coming to the PS5 Slim, both the silver, the volcanic red, and also the cobalt blue. Now, something that wasn't at the show floor, but I did read about online, is a matte black PS5 Slim console cover that is also launching, and I believe these will all be available in February 2024, if my brain remembers that date correctly. I thought these PS5 console covers looked pretty cool, but the dust was awful on that glossy section on the PS5 Slim. Don't know why the PS5 has this glossy section. This just proves how dusty it can get, especially with all of the footfall that this convention center was getting. Absolutely gross, but I digress. Something else that was revolutionary at the Sony booth was the PlayStation Car. Now, the day before the CES event actually started, we were invited to a Sony media press event on the booth before it all actually went live. And this is where they did the big live stream on the internet that you could watch online. But we were actually present in the crowd and got to see it all happening in real time. Now, what happened was my friend, who is my cameraman, Jamie, he actually snuck up into the press and media area. He snuck right around all of the crowd, went behind the curtain, and then went down to where the official Sony cameramen were operating, and he was literally on their Instagram account, blocking one of their cameras, just crawling around in his Never Stand Still t-shirt, which will be dropping soon over on our website. Make sure you sign up so you don't miss that drop. Absolutely hilarious that he managed to pull this off and go into a VIP-only area when it came to operating a camera, which meant we got these insane shots, so we have to talk about this car. Basically, at the Sony event, they were talking about all of their movies, all of their upcoming games, how many units of the PS5 they'd sold, but they absolutely stole the show when they drove this car onto the stage with a DualSense controller. They had a PS5 controller and literally drove a real-life electric car onto the stage, which was like a world first for this ever happening, like a full-size RC car basically, but it was a real car that you could obviously drive. Now, this is some futuristic tech that they're currently testing with the manufacturer of this vehicle. Don't know why you would ever need it. You know, you're driving on the motorway, instead of using the steering wheel, you're going to use your PS5 controller. But hey, I'm not complaining. Before we move on from Sony, a final couple things that they did showcase was a new Pulse Elite headset. This is an update to the currently existing PlayStation Pulse headset, but with a bunch of new features. This includes new audio drivers that were present inside of the Pulse Explore earbuds, and also the new AI-enhanced noise-cancelling microphone. They state that these will get around 30 hours of battery life, and also they support the new PlayStation Lightning connection, so they are compatible with something like the PlayStation Portal, as well as the Bluetooth. So they are dual connectivity, so you could have a phone call at the same time on Bluetooth while you're playing on your PS5 via that Lightning connection. And finally, Sony also announced a new VR headset called the PlayStation VR Spatial, which is essentially a developer kit that mainly focuses on productivity and 3D design with a mixed reality and a bunch of other cool stuff for working in a headset like this. There's not much information at this current time on this new Spatial VR headset, but I think throughout the year and towards the end of the year, they'll probably drop it.
Hey up, superstars have arrived.
What a knob. What a knob.
But it's cold. It is cold.
I'm shivering
This is
with
the
the camera
cold.
here,
This is
yeah.
the coldest part of Vegas.
Cool that, mate. That's a vibe.
I like it. So we've had a little bit of an explore around. It's time to go do some work. We're off to an event with Samsung now to see what they're releasing this year. Should be good.
While walking around the event, I did stumble across this $50,000 simulator at the Hisense booth. I'm a bit of a sucker for technology like this. Whenever I see a racing simulator at a convention show, I have to go on and play on it. It's just essential. This was a D-Box system that was running the new Fanatec DD Pro Plus steering wheel. I actually own the DD Pro, which was one of the first direct drive steering wheels that was affordable for the PlayStation 5 and stuff like that. It's also cross-compatible where you can use it on the Xbox, PS5, and also the PC. It's one of the only steering wheels in the market that allows you to use it on all those different platforms just by literally switching out the wheel head that you currently have on it. Very useful if you do like playing with your friends on Forza, then Gran Turismo, then F1, then a bit of serious iRacing on the PC. Hopefully one day I can buy a motion simulator as cool as this for my house because I enjoy them way too much when I try them out at these shows. On the topic of buying expensive things and flexing, I came across this G Wagon by Mercedes. Now obviously the G Wagon is the ultimate car for all the cool dudes, but up until this point, they've not done an electric version of it.
The good thing is though, at least with this electric G-Wagon, it actually looks like a G-Wagon. Like you got that new Mustang, doesn't look like a Ford Mustang. And every other electric car in the world doesn't look like a BMW. It looks like a weird electric, ugly version. So at least it's still dead pretty.
Now, I do have a video dropping very soon that will share my experience of driving a Tesla across the USA for almost a week, where it's like charging it. How does that compare to the UK? Is it better than the UK and all that type of stuff? So make sure you like and subscribe for that video because that will be dropping very, very soon and it's a very good one.
And this right here is a prime example of what we're on about with the Mercedes-Benz. This is a BMW that looks nothing like a BMW. It's absolutely hideous, mate.
Now, Razer's currently got this project undergoing called Project Esther that is all about this new like force feedback seat. It's essentially a normal gaming chair, but you can add this additional force feedback padding onto the seat that will vibrate and respond to different aspects of the game. So you can feel it all in the game. I walked past the Razer booth while we were at the show and I thought, there's absolutely nothing of interest there, so I actually walked straight past it. They had announced a new laptop and this silly gaming chair, but we walked past it because I wasn't that bothered, because they claimed that this gaming chair, I was aware of the chair, but they claimed it was like a world's first technology, whatever that category of technology is, I'm sure that's true, but the premise of having a seat vibrator isn't new. Like Next Level Racing have had one out since like 2020 something. So, and that is literally just a thing you put on your existing gaming chair and it will vibrate and respond to what the game's doing. It's essentially like sitting on a subwoofer. But they were claiming it was like the world's first thing. I just personally think it was another gimmick. Razer love a good product that's a bit of a gimmick. If you think it's a good product, comment down below. If you agree with me, drop a like on this video. Something really cool that we got to do while we were in Las Vegas was attend the Samsung media event. They invited us to their main stage show. We got to go in, see all of the announcements. It was pretty cool. It was like one of those Apple or E3 style events where they showcase all of the stuff to the press. I'm just some guy that's some YouTuber, you know what I mean? Why am I in this room? Anyways, while we were at the show, they announced a new 150-inch 8K display, some projectors, some new AI technology for upscaling images to 8K to ensure that they look as best as possible. But probably the biggest star of the show was the board Ballie prototype finally being announced. This was a home assistant that can literally wheel around your home, display images on the wall. You can access it to do different things, turn lights on and off, complete tasks for you. The biggest thing I felt like it was missing, though, was it wasn't a Hoover. Samsung, literally before they showcased the Ballie, announced a new robot Hoover that could go around and clean your house. And then they announced this random Ballie thing that rolls around doing stuff. And I said to my mate, I was like, why didn't that have a Hoover in it? If Ballie could do all the home assistant stuff, plus be a Hoover, that would make complete sense.
Although it's cool, who wants a robot with a camera constantly roaming around their house?
That's a very good point. I did also have to agree with Jamie. I'm not 100% sure on having an AI robot rolling around your house with a camera in it 24/7, capturing everything you get up to in your home. I think that could end badly. I'm kind of getting Transformer vibes. I'm not sure about you.
I've never hit it right-handed. I play this way. But the thing wrong way around. Okay.
Now, probably by far one of the coolest booths was the Goove RGB lights. This was an incredible booth. Honestly, they designed it so well. It was very, very big. It was one of the largest booths on the main show floor. But it had multiple different rooms that showed how you could use all of their products together, whether that be in a bedroom, a living room, or a hardcore sort of gaming setup room with a much darker vibe. Now, they had loads of new products, including a HDMI 2.1 pass-through box, which makes it great for the PS5, Xbox One, if you want to have all of your RGB light strips sync up to what your in-game stuff's actually doing, all of the images on screen. But they did also have some new lights for your bedrooms in form of these little lamps, as well as some floor lights with Bluetooth speakers built into them. I currently own the old version of these floor lights, and I absolutely love them, but this was just a slight improvement to the overall design, and they did have a speaker inside of them for, obviously, you could use that for getting ready on a night out, all that type of stuff, whilst also keeping your room nice and clean, so you didn't need to have a load of speakers lying around everywhere. They do have a new software collaboration with Razer and Corsair, so if you do have Corsair fans, for example, in your PC, or you're using Razer Chroma stuff with your RGB mouse and keyboards and headsets, all of that can now sync up with your Goove light strips. But probably the craziest thing that happened at the Goove booth was bumping into Austin Evans, the YouTuber guy that's like, hey guys, it's Austin. I've watched this guy again. He's like an OG of YouTube, like 11, 12 years or whatever. I've watched him since I was probably like 9 or 10. So I bumped into him at the Goove booth. Didn't even realize it was him, mate. I was just filming my video. He walked in the background of my video, and then we were just grabbing B-roll of all of the cool lights. And then I recognized his camera guy, the Denki, is it? Or Denki? And I was like, hold on, that's that guy from Austin Evans' videos. And then it turned out he was right behind me. I bumped into his backpack, and he was literally like there, like stood right here. And I was like, oh my God, it's Austin Evans. So he was super cool. We talked to him for like 5-10 minutes, grabbed a cheeky pic, and then we bounced to the next booth.
What key?
A minor.
Should we go A minor, nice and safe? I haven't played for ages.
And this was over at ASUS, where we got to see literally the world's smallest gaming PC, the ASUS ROG NUC gaming PC. Now, this is available in 2 different variations. You can pick it up with an Intel Ultra 9 processor or an Intel Ultra 7 processor with either an RTX 4090 or 4060 discrete graphics card. Now, I'll be quite interested to see how powerful this thing is. Does it bottleneck or thermal throttle because of how small the format is? I'm not even joking. I walked straight past it at the ASUS booth. We covered pretty much, we did a dedicated video about everything at the ASUS booth, the laptops, the TVs, all that type of, the monitors rather, all that type of stuff. And I thought this was a Wi-Fi router. I hadn't even noticed it. So I did actually play on this PC when we were testing out one of the new 4K OLED displays. That was hooked up to this new ROG NUC. But I didn't even realize what it was. Not even kidding, I thought it was a Wi-Fi router. I just looked straight past it. On the topic of searching for more gaming technology, I walked past an insane room that had this custom machine gun PC inside of it. This was completely water-cooled with a modded case, a very high-spec machine inside of it, but also these guns attached to the exterior. Now, these guns actually fired real Nerf bullets.
Ready? The other ones, press 1. Hit once.
Spoke to the guy that actually built it, and honestly, he spent an insane amount of months and hours on crafting and preparing this for the show floor. Absolute obscene dedication. Now, next to this room was the Thermaltake booth. They were celebrating their 25th anniversary, and they dropped some banging PC components and also cases to match.
$179 for the case. It's going to come with additional panels, so you'll actually get both the perforated as well as the glass.
Oh, and
so you can kind of you have a choice to go either way with that. I actually think it's a really good, and it's an octagon shape, so it's a different shape than what you would normally see. This is a screen will be sold separately, as well as this base stand. So we're also going to be offering this horizontal base stand. It's going to come with the stand as well as a replacement bottom. So when you look at this, see how there's the feet on the bottom of the case? You're going to unscrew the feet, and then when you buy the base, you will buy it with the color, depending on what you want, to give it that capsule look.
On the topic of PC gaming and also building a new PC, Nvidia did drop some new graphics cards, but it wasn't anything crazy like a new 50 or 5000 series as you would expect. For now, we just have an update and refresh to the RTX 4070 and RTX 4080.
Now, Nvidia didn't really announce anything in regards to a 5000 series of GPUs this year, but they have refined the 4000 series with a 4070 Ti Super and also a 4080 Super, which is essentially the same graphics card, but I believe the RRP price is actually $100 cheaper on the whole.
So if you want us to build a brand new PC with some of these latest and greatest components, be sure to subscribe to the channel and also comment down below which graphics card and CPU we should pick up and what budget I should spend on parts for that build. If I am going to build a PC, I'm probably also going to need a new gaming setup with an insane monitor that can showcase the performance and graphics to its best. And that's why you should watch this video next, where I check out the world's first 4K OLED 480Hz gaming panel that absolutely blew my mind and was one of the best products of the show. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and also subscribe for more videos just like this, because the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the videos we can make and go on crazy trips just like this one. But as always, I've been Rowlands. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.